You know, I genuinely believe that there is always a positive in any situation that happens in our lives. I don't care what it is. There is always a positive in every single situation. In the Hermetic philosophy, there's this principle known as the principle of polarity. And essentially, what that means is that for everything in life, there are polar opposites, right? So, for example, you have night and day, you have good and bad, you have hot and cold, and even our emotions work the same way in the sense that you have happiness and that you might have sadness, right? And our experiences in life, every single experience in life, embody the same principle in the sense that every situation and everything we go through has both a positive and it has a negative as well. Funny story, quick story. The other day I was at work, right? And it was super busy that day. Super, 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 super busy. I was going back and forth, pushing stuff, pulling stuff, doing a whole bunch of, physical shit, right? And so I found myself in this negative space because I was tired, and the soles of my feet literally started to hurt, right? And I hate being in this negative space because overall I'm always a positive person. I like to be in a positive state of mind, which is impossible, all the time, but that's a state of mind that I like to be in. I am an overall positive person, right? And so I find myself in this space of negativity, right? And there's this thing that I've been doing for the past year, and it's a bit of mindfulness. So what I typically do is I typically stop what I'm doing. Like I would stop, I would take a break. And the first thing that I would do is I would acknowledge how I'm feeling, right? And so I acknowledged that I was feeling irritated, I was annoyed, I was in a negative state of mind, right? And actually acknowledging how you feel is a first step in overcoming any situation. Because in reality, a lot of the times we find ourselves in this negative state of mind and we completely disregard how we feel. And that's dangerous because you're never going to be able to overcome that situation if you're always disregarding your feelings. So you have to acknowledge how you really feel, right? And so I did acknowledge how I felt. And after doing that, I asked myself, well, what is the positive that I can take away from this situation, right? What is something positive that I can take away or I can focus on in this situation? And nothing came to me immediately, right? And a bit after that, this thought popped into my head and it said, well, you were gonna go home, hit the gym today, you were gonna do some chest and do some shoulders, and after that you were gonna do some cardio. And funny enough, the thought said to me, the simple fact that I've been active the entire day means that I did enough cardio for the next 3 days, realistically, right? And that was a positive, right? As simple as that was a positive. And you see, our minds are so socially conditioned to always see the negatives in every situation that oftentimes we don't take the time, we don't take the effort to really focus and try to find the positives in the situations that we face in life, right? And like I said, I don't care what it is, there is always a positive in any situation that we might face, right? You might lose your job, and the negative might be that you don't have a job at the moment and you need your bills paid. But the positive might be that this is the perfect opportunity for you to start that business that you've always been wanting to start, or that business that you've been running away from, right? Your girl might leave you and you might be heartbroken, you might be in this sad state of mind, right? But the positive might be that that's not the girl for you, or that's not the spouse for you, right? Your family and friends might stop talking to you, might stop communicating with you. And that can be lonely. That can be extremely lonely. But the positive might be that those aren't the people that are meant to be in your life. And the people that are meant to be in your life, you're going to attract them in the future, right? Or it could simply be, a sign from the universe that for you to grow as an individual, you need to be able to stand on your own, right? You get what I'm saying? There's always a positive and there's always a negative. But when you make the decision to make that mental shift, to focus on the positive, everything in your life changing, right? Because I said this before in one of my videos. Every single thing around us is energy. We are energy, right? We are the embodiment of energy. And so if you're in a negative state of mind, you're always going to attract negative experiences. You're always going to align with negativity if you're always focusing on the negatives. But when you make the mindset shift and you focus on the positives, what you're essentially doing is you're aligning yourself with positivity. Y'all get what I'm saying? And so your life completely changes when you make the decision to focus on the positives. And I don't care what it is, there is always a positive in every situation that you might face in life. Always a positive. If it just requires you to make the necessary effort to find that positive. It's all effort. But your life is never going to change if you're always in this negative state of mind. See, I know a lot of people in my life, right? A lot of people in my personal life, right? Who, some of them I'm not necessarily close with anymore. Some of them, they're really close family members. So I can't necessarily, I won't say I can't, but I'm not that cruel, or I don't have that heart to distance myself or cut them off or whatever. But I've noticed with them, it's like they're always so focused on negativity to the point where that's all they attract. All they attract is negativity, because that's essentially what they're focusing on, right? That's essentially what they're aligning themselves with. And so nothing in your life will flourish if you're always focused on the negativity. And so you have to make the mindset shift to focus on the positives, right? And it can be hard. I'm not saying it's necessarily easy. It's going to be hard. But nothing good in life comes easy. And changing your mindset isn't going to be something that comes easy as well. It requires you to make the necessary effort. It requires you to be patient with yourself. It requires you to, really make that effort, right? And once you do, everything in your life will change. Everything in your life will change. Everything in my life changed once I stopped aligning myself with negativity and I started to embrace positivity. Everything changed. So I say all this to say, in life you're gonna be faced with challenges. Things are gonna come up in your life, bad things and good things, right? The good things, I don't have to speak on those because we all love good things happening to us, right? But the negativity and the bad things, the things that we don't necessarily like, there's always a message. There's always a lesson that can be learned. There's always a positive that you can take away. And so you always have to look for that positive message or that positive lesson. And once you do that, everything in your life will change because you will begin to align with positivity, right? So that's it for this video, guys. I really, really, really appreciate you guys for watching, if you did. And take care of yourselves and stop focusing on the negative so much. Find the positive in things. I don't care what it is. Find the positive, focus on that, and your life will begin to change completely, right? Peace and blessings.